County Mayor Daniela Levine Cava.
Good afternoon, everyone. Search and recovery continued full steam as always today. We recovered another victim. The total number of confirmed deaths is now 79. We've also made more identifications since our last briefing. 53 victims have now been identified, and 51 next of kin notifications have been made. 200 people are accounted for, 61 people potentially unaccounted for. The team has continued to verify all accounts, cross-referencing names against the U.S. Postal Service lists, driver's license lists, the building roster, multiple other databases. We want to get this right, and the hard work and the ongoing audit has continued. These numbers will continue to change. So after 16 long and extremely difficult days, I'm happy to be able to share a small piece of good news. Binks, a cat, living on the 9th floor of Champlain Tower South, was recently found near the site. And a few hours ago, he was reunited with his family. Thank you from the bottom of my heart and all of us who are so happy to have played a role in returning Binks with his family. And I'm glad that this small miracle could bring some light into the lives of a hurting family today and provide a bright spot for our whole community in the midst of this terrible tragedy. And we're so very grateful to all of those across our community and the world who've continued to keep us in your prayers and in your hearts. Finally, tomorrow, I'd like to announce that our press briefing will be once per day, 10 a.m. going forward. So I hope to see you tomorrow at 10. La búsqueda y la recuperación continuaron a toda velocidad hoy y nuestros equipos recuperaron a otra víctima. El número total de muertes confirmadas es ahora 79. También hemos identificado un total de 53 víctimas y 51 notificaciones a familias. Se contabilizan 200 personas con 61 personas potencialmente desaparecidas. El equipo continúa trabajando para verificar todos los informes de la lista de desaparecidos. Después de 16 difíciles días, estoy feliz de poder compartir una pequeña buena noticia con todos ustedes. Hoy, hace unas horas, un gato que vive en el Champlain Tower South fue encontrado cerca del sitio y acaba de reunirse con su familia hoy. Binks. Gracias a todos que ayudaron a hacer la reunión de Binks con su familia posible. Me alegra que este pequeño milagro puede traer algo de luz a la vida de una familia herida. Finalmente, comenzando mañana, nuestras conferencias de prensa va a ser una vez al día, solamente una vez a las 10 de la mañana, todos los días. Te veremos de vuelta aquí mañana. Muchísimas gracias a todos y buenas noches.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Surfside Mayor Charles Burkett.
Good afternoon. While Chief Kaminsky, Chief Jadala, and Director Ramirez continue to expertly direct the operations at the site, Surfside was busy continuing to look into the north building, which, as you know, is the sister building to the building that collapsed. Today, I accompanied our expert engineer down to the site, where he was able to take pictures of the columns, the slabs, and the other structural components that had been set aside. I was also able to walk him around and get him close to the building so that he could photograph some of what was left in order to help him do his due diligence on the north building. He will also be taking samples of the concrete and other materials from the south site in order to compare them to the materials and the structural slabs and the core samples that were taken from the north site. Lastly, I just want to note that as I go to the site at least 3 times a day, the debris pile itself is dramatically being reduced, almost to the point where it's at ground level in many places and actually below. So our teams are making incredible progress. I want to send all of Surfside's love and support out to those search and rescue teams because they are burning the candle at both ends, and I know all our chiefs and the director are very much aware of that and working hard to make sure they don't burn those candles all the way to the middle, because that's important. Our guys need as much support as we can give them. So I thank you for your prayers and thank you for all the good wishes that you're sending along. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Representing the Small Business Administration, Roberto Voltadano.
Good afternoon, everyone. As of last night, our team had served 40 businesses, 68 applications. Out of those 68 applications, 40 are from businesses. 16 of those businesses have applied for the economic injury loan, which is again working capital. 28 of those came from homeowners and renters. And so we are slowly but surely assisting those who need in their road to recovery. Today I had a chance to go visit with some of those business owners, and so I walked through the business district in Surfside and I spoke to a wider range of business owners, from a florist to a bakery to a bridal shop. And while there obviously is a sentiment of sadness, they're happy to see the streets back open and their community coming back to their new normal and visiting their businesses. And so I'd like to invite our members of the press in Miami-Dade County, in the measure that we can, come over and visit the business community here at Surfside. They will be very much appreciative. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And our Creole translator, Leonel Letterboard.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Nous en fin journée, 16e journée, nous arrivons continuer le travail et pendant la journée jeudi, nous joignons l'autre victime. Ça porte quantité nous à 79 personnes qui décédés et 53 qui déjà identifiés. Moun que nous trouvons 200 jusque-là et moun que nous potentiellement pour rejoindre c'est 61. Nous disons potentiellement parce que nous continuons à faire recherche pour nous comparer adresse postale avec permis de conduire pour nous sûr que moun sa yo ne pas dans building dans le moment accident est fait là. Après 16 jours de travail, nous avons une petite bonne nouvelle que nous sommes capables de faire tout le monde. C'est que nous venons chat qui est dans le 9e étage building Champlain. Ça fait 2 heures de temps de ça que nous sommes réunis avec le propriétaire. Nous sommes très reconnaissants envers les gens qui travaillent pour rendre ça réalisé aujourd'hui et nous remercions en pile pour l'effort que vous faites. À partir de demain, nous allons gagner une conférence de presse seulement une fois dans la journée, à 10 h du matin seulement. Bon après-midi.
Thank you, Mr. Letterboard. And we'll open up the questions and answers. Ma'am?
Wendy Rose with USA Today. I have a 2-part question. The first part is, at the current rate of recovery, this is for anybody, the current rate of recovery, I know we were originally talking about weeks to get victims recovered. Are we maybe looking more at like days? And then the second part of that question is, because we don't know exactly how many people were on site at the time of the collapse, at what point do recovery efforts wind down?
In regards to time frame, we haven't clearly established. As the mayor mentioned, we're definitely making significant progress with the way we're working, utilizing the heavy machinery with our task force members, constantly monitoring and obviously assisting as well. So definitely we keep having a sliding scale. I don't want to comment particularly where we're projecting now, just because it's definitely a constant moving target. But we are making progress, so we'll continue to monitor, and hopefully we'll have a better projection in the near future. In regards to our recovery efforts, we're searching every area. We're going through every component, and we want to exhaust every avenue in that search for recovery. So there's no set definitive timeline as well as that when that would stop. We have our numbers of what the unfortunate numbers of victims, and that's what we work for, and that's what we're searching. But we're searching every area that we can access.
Sir, follow it over here.
So, just one new victim this time. I'm wondering if the search or the strategy for search changes if, this morning you announced 14, but if it only becomes one or none, do you change your search style or your strategy at all?
Your strategy might always be modified throughout the process. In regards to our recovery aspect, no. I mean, the majority, of our search is utilizing the heavy equipment and going through specific areas. We definitely, based on the schematics of the collapse, we feel we have certain area locations for highest probability of victims. So we definitely target those areas, but we obviously search throughout the entire rubber pile as well.
And generally speaking, those areas with highest probability, can you describe those areas?
Well, again, difficult to describe just because of the type of collapse. Obviously, with the time, we're always going to try to focus on where we felt would be bedrooms as well as stairwells. So that's always been primary focus, and then of course we search throughout as well.
Over here.
Mayor Levine Cava, as you can imagine, and as I'm sure you know, there's a tremendous amount of interest regarding the cat banks. Can you tell us about the cat's family? Are they okay? Are any of them hospitalized or missing?
We're not able to yet at this time, but we hope to be able to tell you more about the happy story.
Could you share some details
We're
about
gonna go with Spanish real quick, and then we'll with Johnny Arch.
Okay.
Sí, quería preguntarle a Erika, ahora que los esfuerzos van cada vez más rápido y que se dio la demolición del edificio, si nos podía decir en español sobre el estimado de que podrían terminar estas operaciones, tomando en cuenta el nuevo ritmo.
Bueno, en realidad estamos avanzando bastante rápido, pero en este momento no tenemos determinado, digamos, en cuestión de días o horas, vamos a estar aquí hasta que terminemos de encontrar a las personas que estamos buscando, y el objetivo continúa el mismo, tenemos los mismos equipos, el mismo personal, y eso es lo que queremos enfatizar, que vamos a estar aquí hasta que terminemos esta labor.
NBC.
Madam Mayor, can you share some details about the circumstances Banks was found? Was he
Yes,
was
yes.
trapped? Was he roaming around?
Yes. So there are people who feed the cats on the street, and a volunteer was feeding the cat and thought that she recognized the cat and brought the cat to the animal shelter, where it was positively identified as belonging to the family as one of the missing cats.
Where exactly was it being fed in reference to the building?
In the vicinity, but there are a lot of cats in the area, and we have been sending out our animal services department with live traps to find cats, and we also have supported those who are voluntarily feeding cats. Thank you.
Sir, over here. Follow
En
right.
español, alcaldesa, pero hay mucho interés por el gato, sobre todo porque da mucha esperanza, pero no estaba bajo los escombros, lo encontraron cerca, ¿cierto? Y la otra, ¿tienen ustedes fotos,
Sí. Sí, tienen razón. Hay voluntarios que vienen a dar comida a los gatos que están afuera, y una persona encontró este gato y pensaba que tal vez era uno de ellos que estaba identificado antes, y lo llevó al animal shelter.
Refugio de animales.
Y llevó el gato al refugio de los animales del condado, a donde ellos sí identificaron y notificaron a la familia.
Que el gato pudo estar en los escombros, pero no sabemos.
No, porque el voluntario no estaba en los escombros, entonces estaba alrededor.
Question for the fire chief. On top of everything, the weather conditions remain brutal. Have any rescue workers been hospitalized or injured in any way as a result of the heat or as a result of just the search process?
Throughout the process, yes, we did have some firefighters that suffered some dehydration earlier. Today, I'm glad to report we haven't had any instances of any firefighters being injured, any dehydration concerns today. Obviously, the weather, with the heat, we're constantly monitoring that, our rotations going through, and making sure our personnel are well hydrated.
One last question.
For the fire chief as well, Surfside Mayor mentioned that in some parts the rubble has been removed and it's down to the ground. Have your crews began their search for victims below ground?
Well, with this process, we're continuing to layer in, floor by floor. So all throughout the areas that we're searching, it's at different levels. So some of it is now we're below grade per se, going into that garage area, and as we mentioned earlier, with this pancake collapse, there was several floors that we knew were in that garage area. So yes, now we're at certain areas throughout the rubble pile. We're below the ground level per se, and we'll continue that process until we'll get to the lowest level.
Thank you, folks. We'll see you at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Remember, it's one brief per day, a daily brief.
Rachel.